I'd like to welcome everyone back to the NK Autos channel. I know that I haven't been posting recently, but I'd like to thank everyone for 900 subscribers. Today we will be showcasing this 360-degree camera for my GX470. This is paired with the Tesla screen I have installed. So this will maintain a couple components. We're going to have a camera in the front, the back, and on both sides of the car. So getting started, we have this box from the Phoenix Automotive website. I have already installed this kit, so I'm going to be trying to show you everyone how to install it the easiest way. It did take a little bit of time, and I only have the front and the back ones mounted right now. I still haven't gotten around to getting the two holes drilled in the mirrors for the left and right cameras, but hopefully this will help everyone out with getting this camera started and mounted in their car. I'm going to open up the box, and there's going to be a couple things in here. We're going to have the instructions, which didn't really help too much. And then inside we're going to have a lot of wires. We're going to have these circular cameras, which are going to be on the left and the right side mirrors. They're going to have these connectors, which is going to connect to the main component, which is the little module box in where I'm going to show you everyone where I hit it. It's going to be behind the Tesla screen. And these clips are going to be connected to that. And then we're also going to have this red wire, which is going to be a 12-volt wire, which will need to connect this to be able to acknowledge that the car is either has the left turn signal or the right turn signal, which will then turn on this camera. This is going to be a little bit of a tricky part, but I'll show you guys how to do this, as well as there's another one of the cameras for the mirror. And then inside we have some boxes. These boxes will also have some cameras for the front. This kit did come with a few extra cameras. I already have the front and the back one installed, but it also came with an extra one with a light. I'll show you which ones I have installed and how I installed them. It's a pretty simple installation, but the hardest part was getting the actual module to connect with the Tesla screen. So I'll show you guys how to do that, but this is another one of the cameras. So these two are just to the side. I still haven't decided what I want to do with those. And then in here we just have some wiring clips. And then this is going to be the hole cutting saw for when we want to do the mirrors. I will do the mirrors in a little bit, just I still haven't decided if I want to cut through, you know, the plastic. I'm still deciding on it. I like the front and back camera. I don't have really a need for the side ones right now, but I'm still kind of on the fence about this. And that's it for the kit. On the inside, I do have some components missing since I already have it installed, but I'll walk you through how I did it. It's a pretty simple installation, so let's get started. So getting started, we're going to take apart this back piece. I do have some plans on putting an aftermarket paracord handle here, since this handle is broken from taking it apart so many times. But we're going to first take these two clips off that are retaining this handle. Alright, with that handle taken off, we're going to then work on taking this bottom net off. Alright, with this net taken off, we're going to then work on this toolbox. Just twist those parts and then put the handle to the side, as long as the kit. And then we're going to have these two clips right here. We're going to take a flathead screwdriver. I'm going to pry these parts off. Okay, and then behind this top clip, there's going to be a Phillips head screw. We're going to take that one off. Alright, placing this Phillips screw to the side, we're going to then work on these top parts, which we're just going to pop to the left and pop this one to the right, giving us some room. We can pop them off a little bit further, like so. They're just held off by some clips. And then we're going to start on prying this bottom piece off. If you have one of those blue Harbor Freight prying tools, you can use that, or you can just start from the top and get behind it and slowly start popping it off. Make sure you feed these clips through. Like so. Pulling it from the top. I'm going to feed these two in. And then we can put this aside. With this back part taken off, let me bring you guys in a bit closer. you're gonna see the wiring I have for this backup piece. So you can just gonna pry this weather strip off. I know it's a little bit messy, but I have to pry it back. Just to have enough room for these bottom cables. Okay. That should be enough. And you can see my wiring right here. I have the connector for the backup camera wired up. To take this backup camera off, it was a little bit tricky. I'm gonna try showing you. This is it right here. So the way I did it is I first took off the license plate, these two screws, took the license plate off, then I had access to removing this back bracket. Unfortunately, you do have to remove this to be able to get to those screws right here. They're both 10mm bolts on each side, as you can see. So to remove this piece, I'm not going to remove it for the video, but I will show you how to remove it with all the instructions. For the reverse lights, you're going to unplug this, take those two nuts off, remove the light. The same thing on this side, take these two nuts off and unplug the light, and then remove these backup lights. And then we can start working on prying off this back plate. It is held on by some clips, so I will tell you guys to be careful with taking this off. I did take my time and be patient with taking this off, just so I don't bend this or crack any of the paint. But once that's off, then we can take this grill off, this black, well, it's going to be chrome for you guys, unless you have a nice dip like I do, but this, I want to say this trim. We take this off by popping it off as well. It's going to be held on by some clips, and then we can finally get to this backup camera. Make sure to remove those two 10mm bolts, and then with that removed, we'll be able to pop it out, and there's going to be a wiring harness that's connected to, let's see where it was. This wiring harness connects to a clip. I have this clip right here. So I just zip tied it so it's out of the way. But you're gonna have this backup camera clip, which is just gonna be this black wire. And this black wire, as you can see, is connected to this red clip. This is gonna be a male and a female housing. And we're gonna run this black line all the way through this hose, which will then go behind this panel. I'll show you how I ran the line. As you can see a little bit if it's showing out. I just put it in through here, and then I took this trim off a little bit, and I just tucked it underneath here. But with that taken care of, I then connected this red wire. As you can see, this is going to be the 12 volts. So this is going to turn on the camera when I put the car into reverse. I just hooked it up to the light in the rear. So you can just take one of the ends and connect it to your 9-volt, which is this red wire. I just did a simpler way by just connecting it to the housing. It works, so I'm not worried about that. And I just zip tied all the wires closed here, so they're all nice and tight. And then I went to this part, which I'll show you now. Just taking off this hose is simple. You just take a flathead and just pry this piece off. And then the hardest part was feeding the wire through here and not getting it caught. But once I got that through, I'll show you how to take this part off. But that does it with this part. As you can see, all you have to do is take those clips off. Be careful about taking the white housing off in the front. But the body panel is a little bit stiff. Just take your time. Once you get that done, just put everything back on in reverse. These two nuts, put those on. All the clips, they'll just clip on normally. And just make sure to clean up your work, zip tie everything, and then use some electrical tape on your connectors too. But with that done, we can then put this weather strip back on. I know that this black epoxy might not stick too well. As you can see, mine is still pretty sticky, so it works. And then I'll show you how to put the body panel back on. It's just in reverse order. We're going to feed these two clips in first, the body panel, and then we're going to clip it on with all the clips, and then we're going to put the Phillips head screw on, and then we're going to put the toolkit on and make sure to pop both of these panels back on, and then we'll be good on this back door, and I'll show you how I fed the wire all the way to the front. Just give me 1 second, let me put the panel back on, and then we'll get started with feeding the wire. Feed these clips through. I always like to clip them together just so that the bottom clip doesn't fall back out. And then the same thing we did before. Connects all those clips. That's all good. Then we're going to take our 12, not our 12, we're going to take our Phillips head screw. I'm going to pop it back in here. And then we're going to take our tabs and we're going to pop these back in. And if you have a sagging nut like I do, I'm going to take this bottom clip and feed it through the most bottom loop I can. So it's going to be this bottom one right here. And then I like to take my first aid kit, pop it in like here, wrap the top part to the back, and take this bottom clip, feed it to the top, like so. And that makes it so that the net doesn't sag too much when you open your door. Put your handle back on, and then we can put the toolkit back on. Like so. This back panel is pretty easy to take off. You just have to worry about those clips. And now with that taken off, I'm going to show you this next part, which, like I said, you're just going to pop this rubber piece off, and you're going to feed your wire through the top, and then you're going to pop these little tabs off with a flat head. Pop it underneath here, and you can see those Phillips head screws. We're going to take all of those off all the way across. And then with that taken off, we can just feed the wire once it's in here. You can take this panel off, which just take off this clip, you twist it, and there's going to be a Phillips head screw in there, and then you could slowly pry this piece off. I did take this weather trim off a little bit just so I can have some angle, and then once I got it, I just fed it through here, and then as you can see underneath here, I just tucked it in, and you can see that wire is right here all the way along to the front, which I'll show you in just 1 second. Just make sure to feed it under here. It does come out once in a while, but nothing major. I was going to put this tarp back over. Okay, and then I will show you on the passenger side of the back rear how I popped off the panel to be able to feed that wire through so that it's clear. Let me just show you that now. So you're gonna pop these two tabs off right here for this this footrest. I want to say this is great, and then there's gonna be two Phillips screws. You're gonna take that off, and then I just fed the wire underneath here, and then it pops back out here. And then with just this, once you have this off, you can just pop this off as well and feed the wire all the way through underneath here too. And then all the way over to this side as well. Underneath this panel, which just pops off as well. Let's see if I can pop this off. Yeah, as you can see, that's the wire right here, all the way. And then I have the wire coming out from this side here, up here, and then into this panel right here, which I will just, it just pops off as well. You do have to take this black piece off, there's a screw here, and there's one behind, and then you take this piece off, and then you can easily run the wire through here. And then once you have this popped off, we're going to work on taking off the Tesla screen, which just the same way of taking off as I showed in the video. I will show you that. I'll put the camera onto my head, and I'll show you the process of taking this off so that we can mount the module behind the cigarette lighter. So let me just swap cameras, and then we'll work on that. When we're in the inside of the car, we're just going to unplug everything from here. This side, and then we're going to take our prying tool, just pop both these panels off, the left and the right side. Okay, and now we're going to work on taking which I think is the hardest part about taking any of this off, is going to be this wood trim. Mine is unfortunately pretty cracked. I do have trouble taking these off. make sure to unclip this back clip for the emergency brake. Not emergency, the emergency flashers. Okay, we're gonna place that in the back. And then this right one, like so. Unclip that as well, put this to the back. Okay, and now with this part taken off, we can work on just taking this bottom piece off, which will just come off like so. Pretty simple. And then we're gonna unplug our connectors. One for the cigarette lighter, and then some for the lights. Okay, and we can put that to the back as well. All right, with that taken off, I'll bring you in for a little bit of a closer view, but you can see behind the unit, I do have the module. I'll pop the module out real quick. Okay, I had to switch cameras again real quick. This is going to be the home base of the whole system. This is going to be your module. So we're going to have this connected right here. This is going to be the power. This is going to be connected through a few plugs I'm going to show you. This black RCA is going to be connected to the remote, but I haven't found that a remote works with this kit. I have reached out to Phoenix Automotive a couple times, and I've actually had a meeting with them, but didn't really figure things out too well. I actually go on a forum on Facebook and look a few things up. I'll tell you guys about that at the end of the video, but as you can see, this red wire is going to be the one that's connected to the backup camera in the back, and this blue one is going to be the one that's facing the front camera. A few things about the connectors right here. We're going to run them through this harness. This harness is included in the kit. There's going to be a fuse right here, and there's going to be 3 wires. There's going to be a ground, a 12 volt, and an accessory one. I'm going to show you all that underneath the fuse panel in the car, but we're going to need a add a fuse kit for this. But once we have these wires wrapped around, and the red one, like I said before, you're just going to sneak it through this back piece, through the back, connect it, and then worry about the harness. The harness I have connected through here as well. It goes through the back here because you can pop this panel off that I showed in a separate video. When you pop this off, and then you can run your fuses. I'll show you how I ran the fuses. They're going to be right here. Popping this panel off, you can see I have 2 add fuses. I have one right here that's going to be for the, let me see right here. This is going to be for the cigarette lighter, which is going to be a 10 amp one, sorry. And then the next one is going to be a 7.5 amp. So as you can see, I have a 7.5 fuse and a 3 amp fuse right here. And then I have 2 more fuses over there for the accessory. That's going to be for the cigarette lighter. That's what's going to be powering the whole system. That is on a key. That is a ignition switch. So this whole system won't be running while the car is turned off, so it doesn't drain any battery. But when I do turn on the car, this is going to be running full time. So as you can see, that's the way I added the 2 fuses. And then I just have the ground behind here connected to one of the ground points back there. It's pretty simple. All you need to see is just a bare metal connector and just ground that up. And then with that, I just have those 2 add a fuse kits, and they're connected to the wires. It's a pretty simple connection. Right there, you only need 2 wires. Well, and the 3rd ground. And with that, it just plugs in right here. You will see the light begin to turn red right here. But I have the car currently off. There is a few options for other connectors, but I do not have that right now. The yellow and the green are going to be both for the left and the right cameras, which I still haven't figured out if I want to do that, but still kind of on the fence. I don't know if I want to drill into the bottom of the caps, but if you do want to install this, you're going to have to buy these 2 checkered pieces to be able to calibrate the cameras. There is a video online that I'll try to link. There's a way to draw the pieces out so that you don't have to buy the extra material. But with that said, we're going to take this piece and we're going to pop it back into the bottom. See if I can show you guys. It was a little bit of a tight spot. You can see it just pops right in. And just make sure to keep those wires tucked in. As you can see, this is the wire for the remote connector. popping that back there. Then you can just place your cigarette lighter back on here. You can keep this out just to troubleshoot a few things, but for right now we're just going to tuck that in, and I'm going to show you how I connected the front camera. We're going to pop to the hood, and then I'll show you what it looks like on the other side. Alright, opening up this hood, I'm going to show you how I ran the wire. The wire is just going to be to this left hand side. I ran it through the back as I showed you guys, through that little piece. And then I just ran the connector through this little coupler right here that connects some of the other wires. You do have to take the bottom of the, let me show you, the glove box out for this, which just requires you just to pop this out, take the bottom pieces off right here, and you can slide this off. And it is a little bit of a hard job to do. I connected the blue tip and the extension cord through with a little metal wire to be able to get it through to the side. Once I got it in there, I just connected the coupler back on, and then with this wire I just ran it underneath here, and then I got some weather, and then I ran the wire through here. It did come with some heat shrink or some protective coverage, so just ran it through here, as you can see, around through the bracket, and then I popped it through here, and I just pushed it down where I had an opening. And then for now, I just have the camera right here, as you can see. I tried installing it in the grill, but I couldn't find a good spot for it. Just for now, I have it on there, and it actually works perfectly. I don't need anything more right now. This does work. I can see if I'm getting too close to a wall or not. But for now, I think it works perfectly. And I don't have any access cables, as you can see. One thing that I will say with this camera on the side, I haven't really found a good place to mount them yet. I'm thinking of maybe mounting them right here on this plate, but I know that this is where the pieces that connect this mirror are to. So the only other option I really have is right here, which I think there might be a little bit of room once I take this glass off. And once we get the glass off, then there's gonna be room for the wire to connect. It's just you're gonna have to worry about the clearance issues with closing and opening this mirror. So I will figure that out, just I haven't really gotten around to doing it yet. And I'm not really sure if I want to mess with that, but you know, it is a 360 camera install, so I guess I will have to show this sooner or later. But for now, there's a way of doing it. Like I said, you just pop off this piece right here, this corner piece, and then take this door panel off, and there's gonna be another one of those couplers that you see in the hood, and we're gonna run the wire in down here. And the same thing as we did in the back door, we're gonna feed it through here. And then the wire is pretty long, but you're not gonna have enough wire to be able to connect it to the turn signals in the front of the headlights. So just take some electrical wire and just connect those two pieces with some electrical tape or solder them down. And then you're gonna need to run the wire in through this front part, and then just connect it to the turn signal. So your turn signal is gonna be this bulb up here in the front. We can take this piece off and then just worry about connecting the wire to one of the 12 volt or the live wire, which is going to be one of those red ones. So you can connect that into the red wire, and that's going to be your activation switch. So when you turn on the turn signal, it's going to activate the camera. It's going to give it that 12 volt power source it needs, or that 9 volt power source it needs, and then it's going to connect that piece to the module that we have hidden, and then it's going to activate your camera for the head unit. So let me just turn this on real quick, and let me show you a few things about how we're going to connect this whole system to this actual Tesla screen. So with this kit, there's going to be two RCA connectors that you're going to have to connect to the back of this unit. So I'm going to pop this out, and I'm going to show you where those are exactly. So just give me 1 second. It's just simple, those two clips. You just have to put the camera down for a second, and we're going to pop it out, and then I'll show you where those two clips are, just so that it connects to the unit, and then we can fire up this Tesla screen, and I'll show you how the front and the back camera work. As you can see back here, there's going to be this this male RC that's going to connect to this camera for the back. It's going to just say camera from the back of the unit, and then we're also going to have this white wire. This is the wire that I had most trouble with. I could not find anything online or even find anyone that could lead me to this. I talked with someone from the tech support on Phoenix Automotive, but there weren't too much help. So I just really went through all the possible connections back here, and I found out that this white wire works with the brown wire that has a connection for back. So you're gonna wire this up, and then with that connected, that is gonna be the one that's gonna enable the back camera to work with when you put the car into reverse. I did have it before that I could get the camera feed to work, but it wouldn't work when I had it in reverse. But now with this working, it works perfectly. It's flawless. So yeah, just make sure this RCA is connected to this yellow one that says camera, and this white wire that's connected with this for the kit is connected with this one that says back. With that, we can just pop this unit back onto into its place, and then I'll start up the car and I'll show you how the cameras work. Alright, so powering on this unit. As you can see, there's gonna be a few things that I played around with. I do have this custom firmware, which I will be doing a video on this next. But we're gonna go to settings, and we're gonna go to, so it's gonna be in advanced, and we're just gonna type in the code 8861, and then over here it's gonna be this backup camera video format. So I had this video format and I played around with it a little bit. None of them really work except for the CVBS AHD one. So if you're having trouble connecting the backup camera to your actual system, try messing around with the camera signal. And with that, that's pretty much it. You don't have to do anything. Once you pop the car into reverse, like I'll show you, the backup camera pops on, as you can see. And then once I put it into forward, the front camera pops on. And once I put it to park, it's also that front-facing camera, just so that you can see how close you're getting. And that's about it. There are the options where you do your turn signal to the right, and the right-facing camera pops on right here. Then also to the left. One more thing, as you can see, I'll just turn this light off so that there's not a lot of blurriness. You can see right here, you're going to have your up view, your top view of your car. As you can see, I only have the front one and the back one. They're a little bit distorted because I do not have the pieces of paper, the checkered sheets that allow you to calibrate your camera. But with that, there is a few videos online if you do decide to install those left and right cameras that allow you to calibrate it. I'll link it in the video description, and you guys can go check that out. Also, there's going to be a couple forums on there on how to calibrate and how to connect a few of those things. And then also, if you guys want to join, there is a Facebook group chat that specializes. There's a couple people on there. I actually bought one of the firmwares from Sergi. He's a guy on that forum that allows you to modify your firmware, and there's a few of those people on there who help you out with any problems you have about your Tesla screen. They actually helped me out a lot, so I'll leave that in the video description as well. And I'm hoping this video helped everyone out. I know that it might be a little bit short and it might not be as detailed as the Tesla screen install. I do have everything already installed. I don't want to really disconnect all of the connections I have right now, but it should give you a pretty good overall understanding of where everything goes and how it has to be connected. If you do have any questions, make sure to leave a comment or even message me on Instagram. I am more active on there, and I'm hoping to be able to post more things in the future. I am kind of on a standstill right now with things I want to do to the car. I do have some I have some protection for the rear differential I'm going to be putting on, as well as I want to show you guys how I detail my car and how I wash it, the routine. I did wash it once already after the winter, but I do have a few things planned. I also have a car I'm working on right now, so if you guys are interested on me working on that project car, it's a Volkswagen GTI. It does have a blown engine, so I'm going to be working on that and hoping to get that as a daily driver to get it working. I do drive pretty long every day, so this car is a great car, but it does eat on gas. I'm hoping to get that car working. And yes, if you guys are interested, let me know in the comments. And I hope you guys like this video. Make sure to leave a like, subscribe. Stay tuned for more videos.